It's mentioned, Srunutam Sraddhaya Nityam Grunata Swachestitam Kalena Nati Tirkena Bhagavan Visate Hriti. So we should read, we should study Srimad Bhagavatam every day, we should hear every day with faith, especially the pastimes of Krishna. They are so enchanting, so enlightening, so entertaining for everybody. So Prabhupada used to say that, every day night, all the devotees should hear or study the Krishna book, so that in the night we get the dreams of Krishna. We get the dreams of the devotees of Krishna. So, yes, this is a wonderful series that we are taking it to have darshan of Krishna through the years. Our process is called Sruta Iksita Pantha. So there are two ways. Yes, we can really have darshan of the Lord, beautiful darshan of the Lord. But there are some people, like we hear of Duryodhan and so many, they had darshan of Krishna, but they could not recognize Krishna. But there are some people, yes, they hear about Krishna, but they develop so much of attachment for Krishna. We hear of Dijapatnis, Rukminis, and so on. So our motive is to really first understand Krishna. Of course, the more we try to understand Krishna, the more we realize that we cannot understand Krishna. And that's what Brahma is saying. Janantu eva janantu kim bhukta name prabhu manasa vapusa vacha bhayavam tava gocharam. Brahma is saying, who is the creator of the universe. He's saying that some people might say that, oh, I know Krishna, I have read Krishna book. But then as far as I am concerned, he is beyond my sense perception. So yes, the more we hear about Krishna, the more we realize that Lord is perceived. He reveals himself only through the causeless mercy of his devotees. So we are making this humble attempt to hear some glories of Lord Krishna as given in the Krishna book, as given in 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. This is so very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So in this series, yesterday we heard from Mother Prabhu about how Devaki got married to Vasudeva, and then he wanted to show some affection, Kamsa, and he was bringing Devaki, but then being given that instruction and that knowledge that, okay, how the 8th Ashtama Garbha of Devaki will be is the topmost enemy. He will really kill Kamsa. The same brother who had so much affection, he wanted to now kill Devaki. That out of the courageousness, intelligence of Vasudeva, of course, he could avert that moment. And then we hear that how they were put into the prison, and then in the 2nd chapter we hear that how all the devatas, they came forward and started worshipping the Lord who was there in the womb of Mother Devaki, who had come from the mind of Vasudeva. So yes, here in this 3rd chapter today, we'll be discussing how Lord appeared. What are the sign? So yes, this is not an ordinary person's birth, because ordinary person appears because of our karma. Once we appear, we start crying. Then once we appear, then parents, they see, okay, what is the muhurta? Is it auspicious, inauspicious, and so on. But when Supreme Lord appears, because he is the Akhila Brahmanda Nayaka, everything falls in place. Just will here today. How beautifully, of course, our discussion is in a very summary way. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. Just a second, give me a minute. So I'm just trying to share my screen, just see if it is visible. You can see my screen, Prabhu? You can see my screen? Yes, Prabhu. Okay. So yes, when Lord appeared, this whole universe really charged with the mode of goodness and the beauty and the peace. Um, it is written that Kalo, Kala Paramasobhana, like even the Kala, which is usually in the mode of ignorance, that becomes supremely auspicious because the controller of the Mahakala, the Lord Krishna appeared. It is mentioned that the Rohini constellation appeared, the most auspicious constellation appeared. It is mentioned that how, right, this Prithvi becomes so auspicious, so Mangalamaya. So why Prithvi becomes so happy? Our Acharyas are mentioning that, Prithvi is thinking that, in last incarnation, you came as a brahmachari. I could not marry you. Oh, um, the last one, you came as a Lord Ram. All right. You came as a son-in-law. But now, in this incarnation, I want to be appeared as your consort. So that you can accept me as a bhoga. So that, and a bhoga means two ways. That okay, you accept me as your conjugal lover, but also bhoga means also to eat. Lord also accept that Mrudavakshan Lila. Right? Yeah, in that way, thinking that way, Prithvi is so happy that okay, finally I'm getting an opportunity that my most awaited Lord, the whole, all the yogis to whom, meditating, all the Mother Lakshmi, who is only fortunate to get the uh, service of the lotus feet. And now the same lotus feet will be adorned in my surface. Thinking this ecstasy, this Mother Earth, he became so happy. And it is mentioned also that all the villages and all these puras, gramas, everything, they become so enlightened. It's called Mangal. Mangala. So it is mentioned that how, just like in the night, sometimes you see, once you're flying in the flight, you see that lights of the villages, they become like jewels, the light. So, our poetic acharyas, they mention that, they become like a sutra. This Mangala Sutra of Prithvi. So Prithvi already started thinking that, oh, Lord has accepted me as the consort. And it is mentioned that, that how everything, right, the Samudra became so happy, the rivers became so happy, they filled with the clear water. Very beautifully, poetically, our acharyas are talking about it, how rivers became so happy, because rivers were thinking that, oh, like this Nadi, it's like, a Stri, and their father's place is the mountains, and their in-laws place is like Samudra. That's where they go from the mountain to the ocean. And who is their daughter? Their daughter is Lakshmi. And here, who is coming now? Their son-in-law. Their Krishna is coming. So, oh, wow, we're so fortunate now to have darshan of our son-in-law. Even Samudra is also thinking that, oh, like somehow he's our son-in-law, but we are not able to see because somehow he's always covered by Mother Lakshmi's curtain. And in the last incarnation, he appeared as a Ram. And somehow we could not recognize Lord Ram, and he had to do tapasya and to give the way to Lanka. After that, of course, he became angry, and then we realized that he is the Supreme Lord. And after that, Lord made a passage on the stones. He made a breeze to go to Lanka. So some others were thinking that, oh, we could not get his charan sparsha, his lotus feet. So now maybe in this incarnation, right, definitely we'll get more and more opportunity. So they were kind of in so much of ecstasy, like this is the beauty that whenever the Lord appears, you might think they are inanimate, they become also animate, they become consciousness. So this Krishna Janmashtami, right? Everybody becomes so blissful, so joyful, thinking that how they can really serve the Lord, thinking that how they will really make the Lord happy, how they will be an humble instrument in really making the Lord happy. So yes, after that, even all the devatas, munis, and all the brahmanas, and they become happy. They started and lighting fire, and the yajnas, and so on. All the birds, all the dvijas, and it's called dvijas, and the birds, they become happy. Even the breeze, it started to. It's mentioned that wanted to offer, breeze also wanted to show to Krishna that, oh, I'm also a very charitable person. Because Lord is known as a Lakshmi Pati. He always gives charity. And if somebody supreme has come, that he wanted to showcase yourself as well, somebody will glorify you. The breeze also was thinking that, yes, I want to give nice fragrance to everyone, so that Lord Krishna will now recognize me that I am also a very charitable person. So, so everybody was really coming forward and to serve Lord Krishna. That okay, I don't want to be left behind in serving. This is the mood of everyone during the appearance. So yes, this Janmashtami, is to really bring that mood of service to Krishna. To like we heard last time, the sacrifice of Devaki and Vasudeva. What kind of a sacrifice they went through. Like that's why Queen Kunti is saying, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namo. Queen Kunti is thinking that, oh, in the heart of my brother Vasudev, Vasudev Krishna, he appeared. How glorious is my brother. Like how he was so brave to really deal with Kamsa. He was in prison and he was not afraid of it. And more glorious than Vasudev, my brother, is my Bhavi, Devaki, because in her womb, Lord Krishna stayed there for 8 months. But before that, she had to endure that on the day of marriage, she was about to be killed. And after that, she was put in the prison, and again, 6 sons, were killed in front of her. Can you really understand what the pain she went through? Yes, this is the sacrifice of Vasudeva, Devaki, and seeing that sacrifice, of course, then comes the Balaram, then of course Krishna. So yes, that's why somebody says that, kast karenge to Krishna milenge, So it's not just a bed of roses, this is not the process of the sahajiyas. So we have to do the sadhana. We have sadhana means tapasya. Tapasya means following the instruction which really pleases the Lord and his dear devotees. So yes, this is how everybody is really coming forward on the night of Janmashtami, really serving Krishna. And it's very beautifully described. How Lord appeared in the Chaturbhuja form. Not like just any other boy filled with mucus and so many other obnoxious things, right? But it's so beautiful with the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and with beautiful hair, uh, beautiful ornaments. Like seeing all this, even Vasudev, he was so wonderstruck and he was so jubilant. And he was thinking that how should we really celebrate? Of course, uh, they started really praying. First, Vasudev started praying and glorifying the Lord. Then Devaki started praying that, oh Lord, you are the controller, you are the maintainer, you are the proprietor, you are everything, you are inside, you are outside. And now he have appeared here in front of us. Yes, we are so glorious. So like they were thinking that Krishna is the object of affection and also object of worship. They had both the bhavs together during that point of time. And hearing their glorious prayers, and then Lord responded to Vasudeva and Devaki that yes, you are so fortunate because in my last to last incarnations, you are there as a Sutapa, Vasudeva, you are the Sutapa, or Devaki, you were Prishni, and you did severe tapasya to have a son like me. At that point of time, I said, nobody can be like me because I am asamardha. Nobody is same like me or nobody is above me. Right? So, I have to send representative of my representative because there is no other representative. I came myself. And then, like our acharyas are saying that, okay, there was this exchange of discussion between Sutapa, Prishni, and the Lord, maybe in Satya Yoga, right? And then at that time, Lord appeared as a Prishni Garbha. That deal is closed. Why? He's saying that, oh, I appeared not only as a Prishni Garbha, but before that as a Vamana. At that time, you're Kasyapa and Aditi. And now again, I have come here, as a Krishna and uh, uh, accepting you as your parents. And somebody might ask, why Lord appeared 3 times? Because Lord wanted to show that I wanted to prove myself in the 3 lokas. Because as a Prishni Garva, he appeared as a Deva Loka. And as a Bhamana, he appeared and performed the pastime as a Patal Loka. And now Krishna, he appeared as a Bhuloka to establish himself that nobody can be, as equal to him. And also how I become the subservient to the love of my devotees. That's why he really appeared 3 times, just to reciprocate that love, with Sutapa and Prishni. Right? Yes. And then, of course, this is a beautiful verse. It is there, verse number 47. Very beautiful verse. It says that, Tatascha sori bhagavat prachodita sutam samadhaya so sutikagrahat. So, tatascha sori, bhagavat prachodita. So, like at that point of time, Lord prachodita, he instructed, he ordered, Lord, bhagavat prachodita. Bhagavat means the Supreme Lord here, prachodita. So, what happened? Then, sutam samadhaya sutikagraha. And the next line is Sukadeva Goswami saying, then he took that boy, his lovely child, onto his lap. So how from the first line to the second line, the Lord is transformed from the 400 form to the 200 form, hearing the request of Devaki and Vasudeva, right? And at the same time, of course, there is so much of philosophy that we can really go so much into it, that it's a very bewildering to really understand the pastimes of the Lord. It's like how he is the same as a Bhagavan, Devaki Nandan, and at the same time he is the same, Yasudanandan. And so it is mentioned as soon as Vasudeva started taking Krishna onto his lap. He saw that. Just like when the sun appears, the darkness goes away. Similarly, as soon as Vasudeva took Krishna onto his lap, all the doors they started opening up. All the guards, they slept. And then not only that, uh, that all the uh, uh, everything get enlightened, as to give the path to Vasudeva. So it is mentioned that similarly, when we take the Lord in our tongue, in our heart, what really happens? Uh, the our shackles, all the bondages that we have, that really gets removed. Kechit kevalaya bhakta vasudeva parayana. Agham dhunoti karsneya niharam iva bhaskara. Just like sometimes when there's a lot of fog, sun comes and all the fog goes away. Similarly, whenever we chant the holy names, all the agha, all the sinful reactions that really go away. And all our karmic activities, they really go away. We get free from all the bondages. And then what happens? All the anarthas, they go into a sleeping mode. Yes, that's why, whenever you're chanting the holy name, all the anarthas, they really goes very far. And the door to the Vaikuntha, the spiritual world really opens. So yes, though these are pastimes of Krishna that happened maybe 5,000 years back, but there are so many practical principles also that we can apply in our life. That yes, just like Vasudeva took Krishna on his lap, we can also take Krishna in the form of holy name in our heart. And with that, we'll be free from bondage. All our anarthas, will be in the dormant position, and the door to the spiritual world will open. Right? And then, of course, as we know that it was raining heavily at that point of time. And it is mentioned that why there was so much rain. Was it really to create obstacles to Vasudeva? But it is mentioned that, of course, there are so many reasons are there our acharyas are giving. It is mentioned that so that nobody will see, because whenever there is a rain, everybody goes inside. From outside they go inside. Inside people stay inside, and it becomes invisible so that nobody can see that, and because of so much of sound, nobody can see the any sound, outside. And everybody will really go into the sleep mode. So there was so much of rain, and at the same time, our Acharya is also mentioning that this Megha, he becomes so ecstatic. Oh, I wanted to perform fast Abhisekam to Krishna. Megha was saying that, so wonderful. Right now, the Supreme Lord has appeared in my color. As a Megha Syam, how glorious I am now. And letter of gratitude he started offering, whatever he had. And he was also thinking that, oh, I have heard, patram puspam phalam toyam. I don't have leaf, I don't have fruits, I don't have flowers. Oh, I have toyam. Okay, and now let me offer my water. There are so many, wonderful commentary given by our acharyas why there was a raining. And of course, as there was a raining, and then of course, and there was Ananta Sesa as well, to guard Vasudeva and Krishna. And as we see here, was that Ananta Sesa, was he in the front or is he in the side? He was really in the back. Like Ananda says, he didn't came. He said, oh, do you know Vasudeva? And I am always the servitor of Krishna and Lord Vishnu. He always lies on my bed. You don't have right. You give it to me. I'll carry it. He was not showing, his ego there. But what he was thinking, oh, now Vasudeva is serving Krishna. Let me be his servant of the servant. So I'll follow him. I'll go behind him, not in front of him. And this is the mood of even Ananta says. He was really trying to glorify Vasudeva at that point of time. And of course, he wants to protect Krishna from the rain. And then, of course, he was also not obstructing the water that was coming from the sky. Once in a while, he was allowing the water to fall for Megha to do his service as well. So, while Ananta Shesha was doing his service, so he was not, obstructing the service of Megha, right? He was giving some, in between, just going back and offering some drops of water. But as soon as he was seeing that, oh, Krishna is getting cold, so okay, then he was once again kind of covering Krishna. So yes, we have to do the service together, complementing each other. And then, of course, right, as we see that, Yamuna has also parted the way. And like same thing that, oh, now, oh Lord, now kind of, please come my way. Please accept me. Please come to my heart. And at the same time, Yamuna Devi also was saying that, yes, you are a Kshatriya. I'm also Kshatriyani. Yeah, I'm also Yami. I am also sister of Yama. So please accept me as your consort. So there are so many wonderful Rasika commentary given by our acharyas. How Krishna was carried by Vasudev and to the house of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. And it is mentioned that that at the same time when Krishna appeared in the jail of Kamsa in front of Devaki and Vasudeva, at the same time Krishna also appeared and Yashoda Mai's house, in Nanda Maharaj's house. And it is mentioned that he appeared as a two-handed Krishna. And also at the same time, it is mentioned that Lord Krishna had also Anuja, had a younger sister. And as instructed by Lord Krishna to Vasudev, so he kept, his Krishna near Yashoda Mai, who was just sleeping in unconscious state after giving birth. And then with his Yogamaya potency, he could not see other Krishna. And then Vasudeva brought the baby girl back to Mathura. Of course, then it is mentioned that he started running, thinking that, oh, right, I hope that the doors will not be closed. I hope that the guards will not, be awake. And I don't know if the baby also starts crying in the meantime, right? So somehow, Vasudev, he really brings, and then as soon as he brings this baby girl, then as a matter of time, right, baby starts crying, and as soon as baby starts crying, of course, all the jail keepers, they get awakened, and and they really see that, oh, now baby has appeared, and they informed Kamsa, and Kamsa came, and he wanted to kind of once again kill, but then Devaki pleaded Kamsa that, oh, please, don't kill, because he's a girl only, and we can really take her as your daughter-in-law also. Devaki was not thinking that, okay, my son is saved, and now I don't have to worry about this girl. And this is the glorious character of Devaki. But the heinous character of Kamsa is that, whatever comes in between me and my enjoyment, I want to kill. That is the Kamsa. But then as we know, that as soon as Kamsa wanted to kill this baby girl, this Ashtabhuja Durga appeared with 8 arms, and then told Kamsa that, oh, the person who is trying to kill you is already born. And at that point of time, Kamsa regretted, and he asked for forgiveness from Devaki and Vasudeva, saying that, oh, I am like a man-eater, I have forsaken all the relatives, started repenting. And then, of course, Devaki and Vasudeva, out of their saintliness, they forgive. But the nature of a demon is that, they are not steady, they are not reliable. On the next day, once again, in his court, as he was with his demoniac associates, they said, oh, we heard that, okay, this is what happened. Now let's kill all the children who appeared in the last 10 days. Oh, and you should not be afraid of any demigods, because they are fearful of you. Nothing to fear of the devatas. And about Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Vishnu is always residing in the heart of the yogis. Lord Shiva is always in the forest. Brahma is engaged in austerity. So, and Indra is anyway powerless. So don't have to worry. Let's kill all the kids. You see, this is what the demoniac people's thought process. They were thinking that, oh, let's kill all the Brahmanas, let's kill all the Vaishnavas. And once they are killed, Lord Vishnu also will kill them, because Lord, Lord Vishnu will be unhappy seeing the unhappiness of others. Yes. Yes, and Kamsa gave permission and they started doing all the prosecutions. But then there is a very final verse in this 4th chapter which really mentions that, my dear king, here Sukadeva Goswami is saying, because at that time Parikshit Maharaj is thinking that, oh, how, so heinous activities going, my heart is crying for pain, seeing all these people are getting prosecuted, at that point of time. Sukadeva Goswami, he's solacing Parikshit Maharaj. He's saying that, oh, when a mon persecutes a great souls, all his benedictions of longevity, beauty, fame, religion, blessings, and promotion to higher planets will be destroyed. So here, there's a big warning, whoever we are, right? But then, if we do Vaishnava Aparadh, if we offend the devotees, right, everything will be destroyed in a matter of time. Hare Krishna. So yes, in tomorrow's session, so we'll be discussing about Nanda Chop, how, right, in the house of Nanda Maharaj, there will be, wonderful celebration of the appearance of Lord Krishna, and then of course we'll hear about the, how Kamsa will send the demons and how Krishna will take care of them and liberate them. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna.